Hey guys, what's up? Um, for any parents out there, like, good for you. I wish you the best of luck. But these schools are just literally propagandizing kids, and some schools not even telling the parents about it, like wanting them to change their bodies, if you know what I mean. It's just crazy to 7-year olds. They can't get tattoos, they can't drink alcohol, they can't purchase a firearm, but they can cut their dicks off or their breasts and take drugs to make them think they feel a certain sex, gender, whatever. And it's scary, man. It's really scary because you don't know anything about yourself at 7, at 11, even at 18. At 18, you can go kill people in wars, but you still can't drink. Even at 21, you can drink, you can do whatever you want now because you've lived a little bit and understood that there are consequences. But if you do all this irreversible stuff to your body and then you regret it 20 years later, then you become depressed and that you can't have kids anymore because of a decision you made 20 years ago as a child, you should be pissed off at those adults who let you make that decision. Okay? It should not be up to a kid to be able to determine that kind of stuff. And it's all to make us all the same, to depopulate us, so you can't have kids anymore, to feminize men, to emasculate women, to put men in women's sports, and they're kicking women's asses because their bodies are stronger biologically, statistically, scientifically. But now science all of a sudden is the enemy of these progressives. And now I don't have a TV for a reason, but I still have Instagram, and sometimes things will pop up. I'm just like, oh, I forgot the world's ending, because I don't have time to constantly be pissed off at that. Life is life, and we need to remember the little joys in life, no matter how small, because that's what gets through. Because you can look outside your window and say, yeah, the world is collapsing, but the Bible foretold it. So what can you do? All you can do is speak your truth and try not to get banned, fired, or imprisoned. Because isn't that exactly what Jesus did? He spoke the truth and he was killed for it. How is Jesus' life not a perfect example of all of us truthers right now? Okay? You know how many millions of people died for Jesus after he left because their faith was so strong? And then they want to call Christians the oppressors and the patriarchy. The Christians are the ones saying turn the other cheek, and the laws of God are higher than the laws of man, but still give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. We have to pay our bills to this beast system or we can't survive. And they're not teaching anyone to survive without the government. No one can, be a woodsman. We're just not raised that way anymore. Plenty of people are, obviously, but it's more like a talent these days than a requirement, like it used to be in the old days. But you can see the stars, the planets are all out of whack. They're all against each other right now. It's basically a Star of David of confusion right now. I just don't. There's no other way to explain it except it's the end times, and the Bible says so, and the stars are saying so too. Okay? So what do? I just, do the thing with the thing. I don't know what to do. And writing a book and all, like, I'm one of those who's cursed with too much choice. I have too many ideas, whereas most people have like 5. Like I become lazy when I get overwhelmed with the amount of material that I want to say. Well, you're like, well, just say it, because you got idiots posting videos every day who don't say anything new, and y'all are right about that. I've been lazy as far as this kind of stuff, social media, because we live in a society where Christians are like, Halloween is evil, It's evil paganism. But then in a month or two, they say Merry Christmas. Like, that's not from the exact same pagan sources. And you know, Halloween is a little more obvious than Christmas. Because in Christmas, it's joy and la la la. That because it's a fake illusion of happiness, it's scarier because it's easier to get drawn in to that. Okay, I mean, this is a known thing. Halloween is Samhain to the witches, and Yule is the winter solstice. Ostera, Easter. All of this stuff is pre Bible. The the Yule log, the mistletoe, Christmas tree, the everything. It's all before Christianity was even a thing, and then these churches have the gall to still celebrate this stuff. So it's like I can't turn on the TV, I can't walk into a church and start preaching. You can't go you can't go online without fear of saying something that'll offend one person and then you're banned for life without any actual evidence. Well, it hurt my feelings. Well, you know what hurts my feelings? You know what offends me? When you see men being put in women's prisons sexually assaulting the women because they identify as female. Isn't that terrifying? Doesn't that not scare you? How is that progress? Well, we don't want to offend the sex offender criminal, so we're going to put him in a cell with a bunch of other women. That's progress? And you look at any of Joe Biden's speeches, he's not only a puppet, he's just really, really dumb. He does what he is told to do. It's like Obama's hand is still up his ass talking. Because that's all he is to liberals, is he's Obama too. Okay? But with less charisma and whiter skin. On a lighter note, this book looks good. I saw it at Barnes & Noble. It's the Shakespeare insult generator. And it's got like just whatever random 3 words you can pull. I just thought it was cool. Speaking of Shakespeare, famous astrologer William Lilly calculated Francis Bacon's horoscope at 7:30 a.m., but also 8:41 is what's mostly actually agreed upon. But either way, you see his ascendant is Pisces right here on the ascendant line, and his sun is in Aquarius in the 12th house. Cool, huh? Well, you know who else has that? Me. And it does have to do with your time of day. I was born with ascendant Pisces, sun in Aquarius in the 12th house, right here. So, that makes me even more intrigued and fascinated because I'm biased. And I've always watched Shakespeare, like even growing up, my parents put on, Much Ado About Nothing. Or I saw, even in 1996, I saw Romeo and Juliet with DiCaprio and Claire Danes in theaters, because I'm old. I'm old, 1987. But anyway, so maybe that's why I'm so intrigued with Francis Bacon, because Aquarius are good at ciphers. Pisces are very intuitive and spiritual. Sun in the 12th house, all about your karma and about deep spiritual philosophical ideas. And that's what Shakespeare's plays are. They're explorations of human character and psyche, and they question what is death, like in Hamlet. They question what is honor, like in any of the King Henrys. It brings up human emotion. What is love, Romeo and Juliet? What is comedy? Measure for Measure. And not to mention all the plays are hidden Masonic codes. So it's just like a huge plethora of everything. That's what Shakespeare is. And that's what Francis Bacon was. Bacon is Shakespeare. Bacon wrote Don Quixote, the first book. And Bacon edited the King James Bible of 1611 because he's friends with King James, literally. In fact, when King James left the country for about a week or two, Francis Bacon was the Lord Keeper. He was the one in charge of the whole country. No one mentions that. These King James only people don't even know about Francis Bacon. And they don't even know about their own codes hidden in there, like Ryan Plaster showed us, and many other people. And not to mention all these anagrams of Bacon's name hidden within the plays. Let's try to make that bigger. In Othello, you have Bacon. King Lear. Just go on my Instagram and see them all. Macbeth. This is from an awesome YouTube channel called Bacon is Shakespeare. So just watch this video on it. I'll try and put the link in the thing. But yeah. So there's this whole world is just one big lie, and it's all come tumbling down. And it's like the more annoying and more obvious it gets, the more people wake up. So it's gonna have its counter effect. It's gonna have its backlash. Okay. And you can see, we are the backlash to all this. It's one thing to be anti-racist and accepting of other people's identity. It's another to have to be forced down your throat every 5 minutes and to be told that you should feel guilty for something you didn't do. You should feel guilty for something you didn't even think. They're telling you, yes, you did think that because you're privileged. You don't know what I think, you don't know what I feel, and when I do tell you, you tell me I'm wrong. So there's this kind of weird authority thing that's going on in culture right now, let alone the fake holidays, the calendar. It's all ancient pagan sources, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's all the names of the gods, and the planets. And that's another thing. As far as astrology being pagan, astrology is the oldest science. It's older than the Bible, and the Bible references it many times. The heavens declare the glory of God, Psalm 19, and the firmament shows his handiwork. Oh, you mean like Leo the lion is Jesus stepping on the snake's head, the Hydra serpent, which represents the first prophecy? Okay. There's a time to be born, a time to die. Jesus says there's going to be signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars. I know we've all gone over this over and over and over. But it's just, we're not going to change the world. We're just seeing why the world is the way it is. And what is it that they're hiding? And people say, well, I'm atheist because they changed the Bible. Who knows what it was? Yeah, they did change the Bible. But let's ask a further question. Why would they change something if it was already a lie and was benefiting them in some corrupt way? Why do the new translations take out a lot of the positive verses about helping others if it didn't have some weird alternate effect on your mind and your soul, essentially? They first get your mind. Well, they first get your body because you have to pay bills and eat by their rules. Then they get your mind in order for you to not be guided to where your soul is supposed to be. They want everyone to stay for the New World Order. That is what they are planning. The Great Temptation is coming. We're all just genderless, defeminized, walking zombies with some little chip in our hands so we can buy food. And if we say something about it, the government will cut our funds off digitally like that. It's all this Bitcoin, crypto money crap. I mean, yeah, the monetary system sucks, but it didn't have to. Okay? It didn't have to. Say, oh, America sucks, look how corrupt it is. No, the corpocracy it became sucks. Freedom of speech was about saying, I believe this and you can't do anything about it. Well, not on social media. But again, we got to emphasize this. YouTube and Instagram are not America. They're companies. So if you work at a company, you can't yell fire in a theater type of thing. So, oh, you said something my company doesn't like, so we can ban you. It has nothing to do with America. You can go on the streets and say whatever you want. But if you're going to say something online, you better watch yourself. And y'all can tell, like, I've been kind of leaning away from this whole political stuff because it's just so obviously wrong, left, right, whatever. They never go forward. They go left or right. Democrat, Republican. It's putting us against each other. I don't vote. I don't take vaccines. I don't conform to anyone. And God forbid I have a kid in this day and age where you just have to deprogram them every single day when they come back from work. Luckily, I'm in Texas, so I don't have to deal with protests as much as like California, New York, and all the other states that think they can tell every other state what to think or do. That's why you have a lot of states going red, buddy. You have a lot. Even Joe Rogan left California because during the protests, the police didn't do anything to these protesters because of the cause. So now we have police being on the side of these looters. Say, well, we can't do anything because it's about George Floyd or some crap. Like, you can't have law and order because of someone's idea. Someone steals a TV. Oh, it's why they're stealing the TV that matters. What? So yeah, anyway, Joe Rogan left. He came to Texas. Now Joe Rogan's up in Austin. You know, probably chilling with Alex Jones every now and then. So it's just all... It's all coming down, dude. It's probably been one of the worst years ever. For me personally and for the world. And then you got Ukraine and Russia. And then you got China. We can't even Google Earth China. We have no clue what's going on there. They lied about their populations. They lie about everything. They're like living in their own little world, just getting ready. Do you know China's armed forces are just fucking crazy? And now the army's all woke and paying for people to cut off their dicks. Okay? Why every institution is becoming left? Like, you can't have a right-wing institution whatsoever, or you won't get any funding, or what. Like, you have to conform. You have to tell us your pronoun, or, you know, you're fired, or you let go. It's just, they're trying to divide us because they know it's so ridiculous that normal people just won't conform. So you're going to have both sides. Well, it's about love. No. Letting men into girls' restrooms is not about love. If you buy a firearm, you get a background check because of this thing called the internet. And then if you don't have any violence in your past, you can legally have one. But they don't have background checks for the fucking bathroom. They barely have cameras there either to catch the offender once they leave. Oh, but he has a mask on, so you can't see who the fuck he is anyway. Okay? Like, they're just literally setting up a world that makes it easier to be evil. I'm sorry, that's it. In the name of compassion. Okay? You know, they're woke while we are awake. Okay? We are awake and they're woke. That's going to be the differences between us, okay? There we go. This is one of the interpretations of the, the heavens declare the glory of God. Aquarius could be Noah. And the two by two animals is the Pisces fish, because it's two fish, and two of every animal went into the ark. And then you even have Cygnus and Aquila, the two doves, flying over the waters to see land. Okay, and the flood itself is the Milky Way. And that's just one interpretation of this. The stars tell different stories using the same imagery. And it's crazy. And it's perfect. And it's so obvious once you know that you feel like, well, why isn't everyone else know this? Why isn't church talking about it? Why aren't astrologers talking about it? Because it goes against their agenda. Astrology, I can't have anything to do with those redneck Christians. And the Christians like, oh, the stars, I can't have anything to do with those new age hippies. Astrology is not for hippies. Because guess what? It does run your life. Okay? And in one of my future videos, I'm going to show all the fake people and serial killers and insane people have a shit ton of Capricorn in them. I've already made a video like it, but I'm actually going to gather all these people's crazy charts and let you know. See, there it is. See, even Jim Jones, I was like, dude, this dude is evil. What's up with this Jim Jones guy? You know, the mass suicide cult leader? Well, he has Saturn in Capricorn. Saturn rules Capricorn because we know Saturn is Satan, the Baphomet goat. Jesus has the goats in his left hand, sheep in his right. I know it's reversed right now because I'm filming on the camera, but you catch my drift. All these archetypes are there for us to warn us of something and to explain why someone is the way they are. And I've been reading Francis Bacon's Birthchart, and it says he's freaking Shakespeare. He has the sun. He has Venus conjunct Pluto in Pisces in 9 degrees. And that's literally one of the most romantic, intense feeling types of personalities. Will Shakespeare, born a couple years later, does not have that reading. William Shakespeare, even according to his birth chart, he's a numbskull. But Francis Bacon's birth chart indicates genius. Say, well, how can you tell that from a birth chart? Because I've been studying it for 20 fucking years. While you just listen to some guy, I've been actually delving into it constantly, okay? Okay, I'll try not to make this one as long. I saw these were both exactly 40 minutes, and I didn't plan that at all. I just started talking, and they happened to both be 40 freaking minutes. So I go to my playlists, and I go to my... Where's the faves? Come on. Faves. Favorite 2. And see, I like this damn band of Monsters and Men. I've been jamming them for like a week straight. But the one eye thing is everywhere still. It sucks to like songs when you know they're part of the problem. Like, I'm human too. Okay? And then I do watch these skeptical videos like 5 contradictions in Matthew 1. Christians need to know this stuff so we can defend it. Say, yeah, I know, it's weird, but that doesn't mean it's all wrong. But then the same guy doesn't even know about the Septuagint apparently, so I had to educate him on that. It's like, well, Jesus in Luke 4:18 is quoting he's adding something that wasn't in the original Isaiah 61 prophecy, but we've gone over it a couple times. The Septuagint is what is being used, not the Hebrew Masoretic text that was made in 900 AD by the Jews. They claim it's the original from thousands and thousands. No, it's different. The Septuagint, even though it's Greek, it's more accurate than the current Hebrew translation that we have. Like, but people don't know that. They don't want to know it because they're against it. I watched The Sopranos again. It's such a funny, scary show. It's one of the best ever. So anyway, yeah, it's a scary world, y'all. And I don't know. And this poor guy, Alan Green, this only has 1,000 hits. This should have 100,000 hits. It proves how Shakespeare's sonnets actually represent a pyramid structure. Sorry, y'all, can you hear my stomach growling? I had like one little go-gurt for breakfast, and now it's already lunchtime. Anyway, and I kind of think Philip K. Dick was onto something with his exegesis and all that, because he tapped into what I was going to say the afterlife, but it's before and afterlife. Okay, we were somewhere before this. Okay, I'm not even talking reincarnation. I'm just talking about in the spirit realms. We're just floating around. Bam, you're in this body. This body is just a phase. And it's probably the most important phase, obviously, because this is where we're being tested. This is where you have to pay bills. And this is where the shit goes down. I'll say it again. If it was Eden, if we're still in the Garden of Eden, what's the test? If everything's perfect, how will you be tested? Well, God's like, no, I'm going to test you by putting you in the shittiest world ever. And you're not going to get any credit, but I'll give you a high five, whenever I see you afterwards. Like, it's all, you need to have a personal goal that's not just financial gain. We all want to live in comfort, but if you're ignoring your spirit in spite of that, then what's the point in the end? Well, I don't believe in hell or heaven, and this is all we get, so I just need to get what I can now. That's a fucked up attitude. And that's the attitude we're giving to kids in schools. So, there's no God, there's no gender, there's no right or wrong. But you have to do this or the world will have climate change. And you have to do that or else there'll be more suicides. And people will feel worse about themselves. Because, and it's like I said, 7-year-olds can't get tattoos for a reason, but they can cut their tits off. Okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense. It's just it's not gonna ever change. It's not gonna be what you want it to be. It's not gonna get better, y'all. All we can do is keep waking people up, and all I can do is kill time, and pay bills in between, and try and show y'all that there is a reason for living. There's a reason to be here, and that don't watch the news all day. Do not watch the news. Watch a favorite movie. Go play a song. Play video games. Do not think you're supposed to partake in the anxiety-inducing news, because you're not. Even on the radio, I don't listen to radio because I don't like commercials, and I don't like new shit, and I don't like the same 5 classic rock songs they play all day, all time. That's so annoying. Find your own music. Find your own media outlets. Okay? Or create your own music. Like my digital music here, my weird metal songs. I had to create that. An artist cannot live without giving something. We don't just want to take, we want to create, and that's what Shakespeare is. He wants to do a comedy, he'll do that. He wants to do a romance, he'll do that. He wants to do a tragedy, a fantasy, he'll do it. And he did. What Francis Bacon did. Anyway, yeah, this, you can see this video is just kind of like me wrapping up. I promise I'll finish typing the rest of my book. Let's see what page. I'm actually on this page, Francis Bacon, KJV editor. I literally have a page per topic, but then I'll put them all in like a sections, Bacon is Shakespeare, Yahweh is Satan here. But either way, it's gonna get written, and it's I'll self-publish it on Amazon or whatever, and nothing's gonna happen, but God will say high five, even at the end of all this, the end of days. And one thing about the Bible, I know this is kind of a segue. People say, well, the Bible is wrong because Jesus says all of this will be done before the end of the age. I say, well, or before the end of the era, whatever translation you want, whatever Greek you're trying to exegete. And say, well, nothing happened. All the apostles died, and none of the prophecies came true. So it's the end of their age, and that was that. So it's all wrong. No. And Christians refuse to say this or admit it, but it goes in favor of their arguments. The age we're talking about is the age of Pisces. Jesus was the fisher of men, the Pisces fish. He had his feet, he washed the feet of his disciples, not just because he's nice, but to bring out the idea of the feet, which is the body part ruled by Pisces, because they're so sensitive, the feet, they feel all the little pinpricks of life. And I know I'm Pisces ascendant, as you saw. So anyway, I just wanted to bring up that one little argument. The end of the age he was referring to is the end of the age of Pisces. During the age of Aquarius coming up, we're on the cusp, if you couldn't tell. That's when all this shit will go down. Pardon my French. Okay? So, well, it didn't happen yet because their age is over. No, it's not. The Pisces age is almost over. According to the Aquarius age of the mark of the beast, technology, Aquarius is all science and no faith. But luckily, once again, I'm Aquarius. But I have Pisces. I have Moon in Cancer. I have Pluto and Scorpio. So I'm an emotional Aquarius, not just a robot, mechanical, science, math nerd. And another thing, gematria. They say, oh, did you mean to type guitars? No, I meant to type Gadaoist, which is my friggin' YouTube name. You just type Gadaoist, gematria, you get 100 videos. Of course, they're mixing in all this other crap that's not even what I said, because YouTube is just another form of propaganda. I didn't type that either. They still give me that. But there's a little interview I did 14 freaking years ago. Trippy. But anyway, type Gadaoist gematria. You'll see some of my videos. I have 100 of them. Screw it. I'll just make a playlist, and then you can just click the playlist. But get Christians into a more logical world than they are with the Easter bunnies and Santa Claus crap. and eating Jesus's body, like cannibalism, even though the Bible is against cannibalism. And get atheists into looking into the math too. Because the math would be like, oh, maybe there is something spiritual about that. Like I did when I saw the movie Pi in the year like 2000 or whatever. I was like, I didn't know that the Torah, or the Jewish Old Testament, the Tanakh, had mathematical codes just using the numbers. That's interesting. And then that ignited the spark in my brain. Say, okay, there is something to the Bible. Okay, at that young age, at like 13 or whatever. Right when I was getting skeptical, I was like, okay, wait. In this movie Pi, this rabbi's talking about all the numbers mean something. Well, 20 years later, I make 100 videos about math in the Bible using multiple different sources. These aren't just discoveries I made. These are from other people. I'm just combining them all. God is a mathematician. He's the grand architect. Okay, the Freemasons know it. Freemasons fucking satanic, Illuminati running the world. You can't even do hashtag Illuminati on Instagram anymore. What does that tell you? Oh, there's too much truth, so we just banned the word Illuminati on Instagram. Elon Musk needs to get his ass some Instagram stock and buy that too, because Twitter was so far left until he bought it. Now people can actually have free speech. He's not even like American. He's, I don't think so at least. But anyway, get the atheists to look at math and get the Christians to look at math, because you can't argue math. And that's why God put it in there to say, hey, this isn't just abortion, gay rights, stem cells, blah, 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 political fad. This is hard math you can't argue with. Okay, now you should start to believe the Bible. Well, I don't want to believe in a God who killed people and murders kids in Isaiah 13, Numbers 31, and Deuteronomy 28. Well, good. I don't want to believe in that God either, and I don't have to. You know why? Because he's Satan. I'm a full-fledged Gnostic in that sense. Okay? Jesus warned us 6 times in Matthew 5 that eye for an eye is wrong. We need to turn the other cheek. It's not just actually having sex with a woman that's adultery. It's looking at her lustfully. That's adultery. And we all know that's true in our hearts. Again, so just go to my Yahweh is Satan Beast playlist. I have like 46 videos, but only like 20 of them are mine. The rest are other people who concur. Anyway, so yeah, I've been knowing this for 2 years now. And I've been here for 36 years, and I've only known that for 2 years. So no wonder people don't want to convert to Judaism. And there's more Christians, because Jesus was nice. And the Old Testament God's scary, unless you pick up the context clues and see all the little hints placed in there that was actually Satan, disguised as an angel of light to confuse the Jews. Okay? Yeah. So it's like I have a lot of answers to a good amount of life's mysteries. You don't want to answer all of them, and then you just be bored. But I also am still questioning life, like what's going on. But then again, I say, oh, well, shit's hitting the fan because that's what the Bible says. That's true. I'll tell you, it's like, it's so simple, you don't want to believe it. But that is the way it is. You can't stop it. You can only call it out. You can't say, oh, we need to stop this. You just need to say, well, they're fucked. Like, that's my attitude. It's like, oh, they're lost. Hopefully if they see my video, they'll wake up, but I'll never see that person because we live in a world of 7 billion people. Okay? And half of them don't have the internet. They're not as privileged as us Americans or whoever y'all are speaking English with me, unless you're watching subtitles in Spanish or whatever. That we're just lucky. And we're lucky to have, another day on this earth to help others wake up and to try and wake ourselves up. Like, okay, what can I do today that will help? What's my good deed for today? Make a video to maybe change someone's mind. Hold the door open for whoever, because it's the South. I always do that. 14 years and only 8,000 subscribers. That's pretty shitty. And I'm not going to say it's shadow banning. I know it's hard to get out there, especially if you're one day making videos about 2012 and astrology, and the next you're making one about Jesus and Gnosticism. Like, I'm not all over the place. Reality is all over the place. But people just want one simple fucking answer. I'm sorry, I have 1.7k videos. There's your simple answer. And YouTube used to be cool. You used to be actually able to sort by the most liked. Now it's just the most popular or the oldest. Even if it's the shittiest video ever. Like, I do have a video that hit 1 million hits. I slowed down Bob Marley. And this one had 42k, but that's all new age stuff that I still believe in. But I'm more focused on reality. Like, I'm glad this one got 22k hits. Hebrew letters are words, so that means words are sentences. Okay? But yeah, it's mostly just music that I posted or made or slowed down or blah blah blah. Or how I, finished Finnegan's Wake. It's garbage. I know this. But that's my destiny. First video was The Fisherman. Then it was something like philosophy and astrology. Or it was some other video, and then I just took it off after a while. I've deleted so many videos, y'all. For whatever reason. But yeah, enough about that crap. We're all in this together, y'all. And it's just not, and we're just scrolling away through life. No wonder I wanted to play Red Dead Redemption. Like, I just wanted to get out because I hate Texas weather. It finally got cold, I guess, even though I'm wearing a t-shirt. Have the AC on still, but it's like 60 degrees out, which is nice. Now I'm just rambling. Okay, y'all have a good one. Hopefully I said some offensive things today, because truth hurts. Truth is not a safe space, and we're not babies here. We're grown-ups. Okay, so, but we know that there's something bigger. There's something beyond this. And that's why people want this old school footage of New York in 1988. Simpler times. Now everything's a big fucking battle. And the fact that we can't speak our minds as freely as we could means everyone's walking around kind of half paranoid. Like, oh, will I say something that'll offend them and I'll lose my job, then I'll lose my fucking house. Like, we shouldn't have to walk in fear of how we think or what we say. But in the meantime, the U.S. is giving billions to Iran, countries that specifically, degrade women, make them cover their faces, make them not say anything, can only be Muslim. There's countries that are already like that. You can go move there, okay? America is not that. America is everyone doing what they want without being told that they're wrong. You can believe you're 100 genders. I don't have to. Then I can go my own fucking merry way. Then they'll say, well, that kind of belief, that opinion promotes suicide and violence. Huh? Where do you get that? I can't. So if I say you're an atheist, so you're inciting violence to Christians, that's the same exact logic. If you don't believe what I believe, you're inciting violence to people of my belief. They can be offended. We can't. Okay? I might as well start identifying as a black transgender Muslim just so I can have a fucking opinion. When I identify as a male penguin and you can't do anything about it, I want to be called King Benjamin the rest of my life. And if you don't conform to it, you're a hateful bigot, Nazi scum. Even though I grew up Jewish. So it's just it's like we're not allowed to be ourselves. You can only be them. And when you call them out, they fire you because they run the fucking world. It's just sad that the medical community is now like that too. Trained physicians have to fall into this gender neutrality thing, even though all they do is study human anatomy, for 20 years. And then they just throw it all out in the fucking trash because of their job. It's but again, sorry, I don't like to get into this kind of stuff usually, but I just watched like an hour of social media, basically. I'm like, oh, there we go again. Am I done? Okay.